Have you guys seen this viral video right here?
Please tell me what's going on. Can you talk?
It's a very short video. It's about 3 seconds long. There's a lady that has a voiceover and she's asking him if he needs some help. The guy's sitting in his car eating by himself. And in those 3 seconds, it's so powerful. It's so impactful. It's because through social media that people come to realize that men, when they struggle mentally, they struggle by themselves. They don't incorporate anyone. They don't tell anyone about it. They just go through it day to day and they just deal with it head on, alone. And that's the key word, is alone. When I watched this video, it brought me back to a time when I was in a very, very dark place. And I talk about this experience so often because it's what changed me as a person. It changed the way I think, the way I perceive things, the way I move, the way I act, the way I feel. And the experience was when I went to prison. You know, when I went in, I was 21. I didn't get home till about when I was almost 26, man. And that time really, really changes you. And it doesn't really change you if you're in there for like a week, 2 weeks. That's why I always tell like all my younger homies, man, you won't learn the lesson of going to prison if you're not there for over a year. Because after a year, that's when it really kicks in. Like, damn, everyone that you thought was your homies, they're all gone. That girl that you were with, she's no longer there. She's with Sancho. You know what I'm saying? The money stops. The letters, they slow down. Even you become programmed to the program. You wake up at 5 a.m. You eat lunch. You go to sleep at the exact same time. You're programmed day in and day out. And it's Groundhog Day every day until your release date. And that takes a toll on people. You know, you're thrown to this violent world. You're surrounded with strangers. But even though you're around all these people, hundreds of people, you still feel like you're the only one there. You feel alone. You know, you eat in your own thoughts. You shit in your own thoughts. And sleep in your own thoughts. You hold everything in. Why? Because as a man, as a man, when you share your feelings, it just makes you look like a little. But I'm glad that society has, been more open to this idea that it's okay as a man to talk to others, whether it's another man, it's another female, or even in this video, you talk to yourself. Because at some point when you need help, and you got to remember help, the key word here is help. When you help someone, it's not by yourself. You need help. Like, you can never succeed by yourself. You need a village to do that, man. It always takes an extra helping hand to be able to become successful. And I love that it's become a norm now. Like, it's okay for men to talk about their feelings. And yes, you'll hear it time and time again. Stop being a little bitch. Don't talk about your feelings. But bro, it's okay, man. If you're feeling a certain way, let it out, man. This is how we actually get better. You have to analyze the problem. You have to assess it, see where the downfalls are at, and then correct it, and then move on to the next stage. And I'm so happy that video was made, because people are exposed to this, and the more we're exposed to things like this and videos like this, that it becomes the norm now. And when going back to the time when I was in prison, you're thrown into like this crazy violent world where you got career like convicts, people that have been there, people that are doing life, people that know all the tricks of the prison system, man. They know how to make, they know how to make Pruno. They know how to make, White Lightning, which is, rice wine. They know how to sneak things. They know where to go where the cameras aren't looking to do some dirt. They know how to tattoo, when the guards ain't coming. Walking. If you know, walking. Before I went to prison, I was a very studious, person. I was in my last year, my last semester actually of college. I was on my way to earn my bachelor's in business management, business administration, business admin management, my BA in management or BS. I don't know, whatever it is, man. It's been a while. But my last semester, I ended up getting locked up on Valentine's Day, which was my spring semester, and it changed me forever. You know, one of the things I did that made me not think of the situation while I was down was working out. And that's why I say working out for me has changed my life. It allowed me to just focus on one task and one task alone, which is just to work out, get in the zone, get lost, get so hyper focused, and not think about what is actually going on. That's the one thing. But that didn't happen until I actually went to prison. When you're in jail, you're still fighting your case. You're not sure about your future. You know, you got witnesses coming in, new evidence being, presented in court. You got your lawyer, cross-examining the witnesses, cross-examining the defendants. You know, when you're in jail, it's a whole different experience. But once you pass that and you go to prison, you get housed, and wherever you're housed at, that's going to be your home for a long time until your release date. And that's when I truly found fitness. When I got to prison, the nurse was like, yo, you're pre-diabetic, man. And at 21, it blew my mind. I was like, wait, what? I'm pre-diabetic? What? Yes. I was eating McDonald's every day. I had large French fries with no salt, 20-piece chicken nuggets, double cheeseburger. I had two of those and a large Coke. That was my jam. And because of years of abuse to my body, it led me to be pre-diabetic. And then when I heard that in prison, I cut everything out, and I just got super hyper focused because that's all I had was time and time to work out. So yes, I did get swole. I did get ripped up. Unfortunately, I didn't have pictures, man. I was very ashamed of myself. When I ended up going to prison, I didn't want anyone to visit me. I didn't want to call home because it's like this is my problem. I have to deal with it. So why am I gonna call home on a collect call and charge my family to pick up a call to talk to me, right? Ask for money to send money in for a mistake that I did. I see it all the time, man. You see inmates in there calling home asking for money. Hey, pick up my call, three-way me this and that, putting all the stress on their family. No, I was your typical man. I wanted to do this by myself. Like, I had people asking for visits, permission paper. Like, so in order to visit somebody in prison, they have to get approval. They have to get sent home an approval form, or they can fill it out online. I'm assuming online now. It's been a while, but you have to get approval from the prison to make sure that there's no gang affiliation, that you don't have any drama with them, that they don't have any warrants. Once they get approved, then they could come visit you in prison. But I've only allowed so many people to come visit me in prison. Um, my cousin Ashley, my mom, my grandma, my little sis. It was just a handful of people, man. That was it. It's just a few people that I knew that are gonna be in my life for the long run. And maybe it was wrong of me to push everyone away, but I didn't send any approval forms to anyone besides that. It's just like a handful of people. But that's what kept me grounded. And my cousin, she'll try to make it out as much as she can. And I love her so much for that. But during that time, it truly, truly changed me as a person. I didn't talk to anyone for a very long time. You got your occasional what's up. Like, when a new Asian comes in the dorm, hey, what's up, man? Where you from? Here's a couple, noodles and things like that. I was a brokey. I didn't have any money. I didn't ask for money. But during my whole time in prison, I did not talk to anyone, man. I had my headphones on. I had my freaking Tupac album CD, and I put that bad boy on repeat. And I just worked out. That was my program. Wake up, work out, eat, write a grip of letters, just writing letters all day, sending it out, man. And I did that for a very long time, and it changed me as a person. I didn't realize that becoming antisocial would affect me mentally till now. I'm 40. I'm about to be 41, and I still feel the effects of that. I get very like tight when a new man enters like the frame of my life. Like my girl, when her homeboys come over, I puff my chest out like, "Hey, what's up, man? My name is Try." Like I get very defensive. I put like a whole wall in front of me because that's what I know as a man, right? I gotta be alpha, be masculine, not talk about my problems. But I think in that lesson of going to prison, seeing all these videos, and actually being able to voice my problems in a very genuine, authentic way, very raw with people, I've come to learn that it's helped me grow and understand what I'm dealing with, and then slowly working through that and overcoming it. Like right now, talking to you guys now, talking about how I work, the insides of my brain, you know, it truly helps me because now I can understand, like, hey, this is who I am. Is it good? Is it benefiting society? Is it benefiting the person next to me? If it is, okay, keep going. But if it isn't, then you got to change. So I know that wall I put up when I meet a new person, I have to change. You'll see me in social settings. I kind of sit back a little bit. I kind of just watch. I do that fake laugh. Yeah, man. When I'm around new people, I'm not super comfortable. There's this crazy thing my mom did in Vietnam when, when I was born. What she ended up doing, she went to like one of those like sidekicks and stuff. She says, "Hey, man." Before I was born, she went to a sidekick. She says, "Hey, man, you're gonna have this son, and one of your sons is like a treasure chest in the middle of the ocean." And basically, what that means is like I'm that treasure chest in the ocean, so people won't actually know like what's in here, like that gold, that kind, that person that hates bullies, the hardworking, soft man, until you actually swim far out into the ocean, dive all the way down, and find that treasure chest. And then you got to slowly open it. That's me. I'm that fucking treasure chest in the middle of the ocean. And it's crazy. My mom was told this from her psychic years ago, bro, way before I was born, man. And that was me. And that's me now. I'm that treasure chest. And I know it's something I got to work on. I got to be that open fucking chest box right on the fucking sand, soft sand beaches. So everyone can, feel comfortable when they're around me, because I know I can be very intimidating sometimes. I'm not saying like I can beat anybody up. By no means, man. I'm short. I'm 5'4", bro. People, my homeboy can literally pick me with one hand like Darth Vader. Just big brother me. Just stay your ass away like that, and I can't even touch him. He'll big brother the hell out of me. But I can be very imposing when I walk into a room. I know that energy changes because I'm so stiff sometimes. And I think any man that that can understand this video, and that's you, we got something in common, man. And I think that's something that I need to work on. And anyone that's dealing with stuff like this, that's kind of antisocial and to themselves, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but if you want more and you want to be social, then you know what you got to do, man. And that's the one thing I want you to do today. That's the one thing I want you to do today. If you want more and you're tired of being antisocial and being looked at as the weirdo, that loner person, get out there, talk to people, even make friends online, and then get out of online and meet in person, because you never know who you're gonna meet, man, that can change your life. Maybe watching this video, you'll watch it back over and over and it might change your life, bro. So that's the one thing I want you to do today, all right? If you're dealing with any struggles or you're dealing with any problems and you've been fighting this alone by yourself, go meet people, man, and talk to them. Talk to anyone about your feelings, man. Write it in your fucking diary, bro. Make a video. and post it online. Who knows? You know, the crazy thing is, there's many people like me out there in this world. We just gotta find each other, man. Hopefully this video helped you out. If it did, you know, like the video. There's a subscribe button right there somewhere below. I don't know which way I'm gonna fucking edit this thing. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you struggle with this before. And then I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.